Budget approval day is a big day in the country. So the normal practice is that when the minister is going to read budget, leaders of major political parties are invited. That is how come on every budget reading day, you see that no matter which government is in power, no matter which speaker is sitting, we are invited, MPP General Secretary, NDC General Secretary, MPP Chairman, NDC Chairman, and our seats are actually labeled, and we sit inside the house to hear the budget. I hope if you review the clip for this particular budget when it was being read, you saw me there. So, if I had been invited to participate in the hearing, and it comes to decision making, I felt that I should go and complete what I have started. So I felt compelled to participate in watching the proceedings. And indeed, the whole parliament itself felt that because of the importance of the activities on that day, they needed to telecast live whatever was happening on the floor, not to Ghanaians alone, but to the whole world. Anybody who is interested could watch and follow proceedings. And when you go to Parliament, there is a place called Public Gallery. There is no Parliament in the world where you don't have Public Gallery. Otherwise, it's easy to be Parliament, it's easy to be the representatives of the people. The idea of Parliament is that we have a people's house where the people will meet to take decisions. But because all 30 million plus of Ghanaians have not been present, and so that is why they have to be represented by MPs who elected. So the MPs don't have a mandate themselves. They have been given the mandate by the citizens to exercise on their behalf. So you need to create a public gallery where any member of the public who so chooses to go and observe how his mandate is being utilized will have space and place to sit and observe what goes on. So that is my public gallery, my press gallery. And any day, the public has the right, not just a privilege, a right to sit in the people's house to see how his mandate is being utilized. And then, so I went and started. And it is tried knowledge that Ghanaians know the position of our caucus in Parliament. And that is, they think there are a lot of things wrong with this budget which must be corrected. Otherwise, they will not support their approval. They have stated this thing very clearly, black and white. And everybody knows. They informed the party and we endorse that decision. So, if for nothing at all, it is also right to have leadership to come and give them like moral support whilst they were performing. So I have ignorance. And in fact, when I went there, the officers of Parliament, one of them, invited me to come and sit where I had been sitting during the budget reading. That is inside. For good reason, I said no. I have come here as a member of the public, so let me be at the public gallery. So I went and positioned myself there. And so I was very, very surprised that experienced members of Parliament who follow the shouting of some neophytes in Parliament that Mercedes doesn't use the public journalist. We must all work out. And they appear to have that intimidation born out of ignorance of the rules of parliament. To follow that person out. And you saw people like Kyei Mensah Bonsu, the longest serving members of parliament, very experienced, knowledgeable about the public. Following such a new person who had just come to parliament and has not had the opportunity to even study the rules of parliament. So he just jumps up on the floor of the house. I said, you can tell my sleep. I said, you can tell my sleep. Otherwise, you won't agree. I said, you can tell my sleep. And the argument was that there is a procedure which has been invoked by their own time. Attorney Martin, deputy majority, invokes a procedure which compels Mr. Speaker to follow that procedure. And Mr. Speaker was the requirement of that procedure as provided for in the sentence of it. And then you who move for that division, you didn't get up to say, Mr. Speaker, we want to withdraw that request for division. But you think that Mr. Speaker should reach the standing orders and conduct the division according to law wishes, which are not done by law. And when you see, then you walk out and leave your own budget, which is already in possession of Parliament. You are giving your testimony, your pleading, your everything, and decide to walk out. That doesn't stop the court from giving judgment. It doesn't. So I was extremely surprised. I wasn't surprised about the conduct of the NPC MP because I can forgive him that he is yet to study the rules of Parliament. He's a new person, public MP. Let him during this program. And you need some time to be able to learn what happens in some countries. So if you don't have the patience to learn, you are carrying over some hangover of campaign onto the floor of the house. You can only help yourself. For whom I was actually enjoying it. But my surprise was for experienced MPs like Kyei Mensah Bonsu and the rest joining or yielding to the command of such a person who was acting like Don Quixote, declaring enemies, identify enemies, declaring war, fight your imaginary war, and declare victory for yourself and congratulate you for yourself. You know that fictional figure of Don Quixote? That was what was happening on the floor of the house. You see, because you cannot enforce a right that does not exist. You cannot demand that as an individual to leave the public gallery unless you can prove that my presence there infringes upon any rule of Parliament or the Constitution of Ghana. And you are not citing anything like that. You are just shouting on the floor of the house. a pronouncement as to whether I should be there or I should not be there, to just stand on the floor of the house and be shouting. In fact, he was more in breach of the rules than anybody else. And then after that, you all walk out. So I insisted that no, the thing I hate in my politics is appeasement. If I had not offended you, and you come and say I should apologize to you because you feel offended, and I am not convinced that I have not offended you, I will never apologize. If I am in my house and you come to tell me that unless you vacate this house, I am going to commit suicide, I'll say go ahead and commit suicide. I'll not vacate my house because of your intention to commit suicide. That is called appeasement. It never solves any political problem. Because once you give in to a wrong demand, it will not end there. They come out with a bigger wrong demand. And then you set up a spiral which you cannot control. So that is why I always insist on the right thing. And I will continue to insist on the right thing. But you know something? The crisis that they have generated is deeper than what they say. And the way out is clearly there. The way out is that they must wake up from their dreams to realize that they are no longer in majority in the house. And they cannot be bulldozing everything, whether it is good or bad. So Kyei Mensah Bonsu in those days focus block of anybody and say you can go to hell. This is we are in power. Majority have their minority have their thing, majority have their will. It is no longer like that because there is no majority in the house now. So when you are faced with this type of environment, what you need to do is to change your leadership style. Listen to the concerns of everybody. Indeed, it has been said that the quality of every democracy is measured by the extent to which minority rights are respected. You still want to run parliament as an institution, autocratic institution. It is not going to work. So the earlier they realize that the environment has changed, the better it is. It seems to me that they still have some of their previous, victory where they could control parliament and do whatever they like. It is no longer possible. Then again, one thing that is of concern to me is that I have been in the parliament for 12 years. I have never witnessed an occasion where there is a walkout and the deputy speaker will join the walkout and walk out on the main speaker who is sitting in the chair. This thing has happened. The implications are grave. First of all, the two deputies have shown disrespect to the chair. Number two, as the speaker is away now, who is going to protest? Because they have participated in this controversy. And they have chosen a side. So that same subject, when it comes back, a judge who participates in a fight, when the matter is brought to his court, would he be competent to sit over it and deliver judgment? So that is where we are, my brother.
General, are you saying that? Because I realized that a couple of times during the last parliament when your side walked out, stage walkout, Honorable Bambagbe never left with them. He stayed in the house. I am saying that
either Bambagbe takes intelligence and never came to the house at all, let alone being faced with the challenge to leave or to leave. So if you are smart, you absent yourself so that you are not confronted with that type of confusion. But you were present, and once you are present, you cannot walk out on your speaker because you come to preside over Parliament in the absence of the speaker on the same term. And so now, if it is about any other subject, you can be accused. But you are saying that the decision is going to be revised. And you have taken a side. So who is going to decide over that revision? So the only way out for them is to work out the consensus, remove the objective part of the budget, and let's all come along. There may not be a need for vote at all, because in the past, we have the budget by consensus. This is the fifth budget of Kukuyaka. Actually, which of them has been started even by voting? Well, my brother, I'm entering.
Okay. Okay. I don't know if I can just read this one quickly to you. Because this is what they are saying, that the motion on the budget, as far as we are concerned, hasn't been pronounced on by Parliament and is still standing in the name of the Finance Minister. And in the fullness of time, a properly constituted House, not one presided over by the Right Honourable Speaker, will make the decision.
What do they mean by a fully constituted, properly constituted Parliament? Have they explained?
Because if from what I've just read, it means that they are talking about one presided over by Joe Wise or the other one.
Listen, who signed attendance and participated in proceedings? So did you participate in an illegality? Was Parliament not properly constituted when you started to participate? So my brother, the time is up. So let's watch what happens.